Hello everyone, this is the Nameless One, and tonight we will be doing the second round of Creator Roundup Musicians. So, before we get started, I would like to remind everybody, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, follow on Twitch, all of that good stuff. Check out the links in the description for all of the wonderful musicians that I have had on here tonight. I've got links for everybody here, as well as links for how to support the channel. And quick mention, we are almost to 100 followers on Twitch, so if you guys can help me out with that, I would greatly appreciate it. Other than that, let's go ahead and we're going to start with the introductions. So I'm going to have you guys introduce yourselves, who you are, what music genres and whatnot you do, all that good stuff, and then we'll go with the icebreaker question will be, who or what is your greatest inspiration? And I'm a bully Mooney first.
Oh no! Hi, I'm Municorn. Most people call me Muni. I have been writing music since I was about 12 years old. I started mainly with orchestral or classical music, and I've been doing that for a long time. I still do that once in a while. I like to kind of mix that with what I do nowadays, which is a lot of future bass and kind of electronic poppy music. My biggest inspiration? That's a good question. In the past, I've taken a lot of inspiration from Clean Bandit and John Bellion. Those have been two very prominent artists in my life. But yeah, other than that, I'm still trying to find my own genre and my own style.
Okay. Golly.
Oh, hello. I am Golly Forever, and I completely forgot what all the other things I'm supposed to talk about first.
What kind of music you do? Right. And then the icebreaker question is, what is your
early inspirations? Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so the kind of music I do, mostly electronic music in the style of the mid to late 90s, early 2000s of progressive, kind of techno-y, housey, and breaks. I do a lot of remixes and really fun stuff. Take some obscure or well-known sounds like children's programming or whatever, and just throw a fat beat on it and just, make it neat, make it funky. As far as my earlier inspirations, I started out listening to hip hop because they did not play, techno on the radio here in the States, at least. It was towards the mid to late 90s that really I found like the stations that would broadcast late at night and play, they'd broadcast live from the dance clubs and stuff. And like, what is this? No, I want to play this. At 90s, now would be called old school breaks, and just techno of the era. And so I started, buying up music, whatever I could find that said techno on it. I listened to a lot of the Prodigy. A lot of my other friends would say I sound like Orbital's early work back in the day, and been producing off and on ever since.
Okay. Harmony Bop?
Yes, my name is Harmony Bop. What genre I was doing, yeah. I do basically everything I can get my grubby hands on. Everything from, weird orchestral poppy stuff to rock and metal, progressive, or just hard-hitting or anime sounding. But generally lay within the genre of progressive metal. My biggest inspiration, I would say that's a very easy answer. It's definitely Dream Theater. Dream Theater has opened my eyes to so many ways of writing that I never could have imagined. So, yeah, I guess that's quick and easy.
Drummer Shy?
Hi, I'm Drummer Shy. Drummer, musician, nerdcore drummer, whatever you want to call it. I've done a lot of drum covers, done a lot of stuff for the Brony fandom over the last like 7 or 8 years. I'm now in the nerdcore scene right now. And doing some video game stuff at the moment. I would say for drumming, I do a lot of, as what Harmony Bop said, progressive rock and metal. But I've been doing mostly for the longest time. It's been a lot of nerdcore, drumming and EDM kinda. For my biggest inspirations, I would have to say the 3 drummers: Neil Peart, Mike Portnoy, Gavin Harrison, Stuart Copeland, Danny Carey, Chad Smith, Ringo Starr, John Bonham, Jeff Porcaro, Marco Miniman, blah 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 blah. It's all the drummers. So I don't make much pony content as I used to, like until like last year, but I'm still keeping tabs with the community and still keeping tabs with them. So yeah, that's basically it.
Atlas?
What's up, everybody? I'm Atlas. I'm single-handedly the best producer ever. I have like 14 Grammys. I make electronic music and shit and whatnot. That beep boop stuff on computers. Skrillex, Virtual Riot, Mode Step, all the guys from like the 2010s that did electronic are easily my biggest inspirations. And yeah, I just make things on my laptop in my room.
Okay. And Saf?
Hey, I'm Sapphire Sistrine, and I primarily do like a kind of combo of orchestral and like dark electronica most of the time. And my biggest inspiration is really, I'd have to say, the Tron Legacy soundtrack by Daft Punk. Not any of other Daft Punk stuff, but just that wonderful blend of electronica and orchestral.
Okay. So before we get started, I'm also gonna let everybody know that if you are interested in hearing some of the music that these guys make, I will be doing a section at the very end so that you guys can hear the kind of music that they do. And I've got some from each of them. So keep tuned in for that. So for our first question, I'm gonna get the one that I ask almost all of the creatives out of the way first, and ask, what does your creative process look like when you start making music? I.e., like new song, remix, whatever. What do you do to get started and get going on all that? And I'm gonna start with Drummer Shy.
All right. Well, I could say this publicly, but right now I am working with Blaze, or he goes by Spitfire. One of the many times that I do drumming is where for EDM artists, they would ask me to play a BPN, and again, they don't hand me anything. I just basically do like drum and bass, because if I understand the genre, I usually just go with whatever the genre is. And I just set a BPM. Like I just recently did this where I just basically just played random drum parts, and I just basically played a beat, played some like drum breaks or whatever. It depends on what the EDM artist wants. But for other stuff like rock or like kind of simple stuff like some of the drumming stuff I did for a couple of, I think, soundtracks for animations. All I did was just basically they tell me which style to play in, or sometimes they give me a demo and I usually play over it and I add my lick and taste to it, and I do like 3 or 5 takes. So mostly I just provide the drums, but if they want something like vocals or shakers like that, I can provide for them because I've had the experience in college doing like pop theory of basically music or whatever. But that's pretty much how the process goes in terms of making music. So
Okay. Saf.
Yeah, when I knew you were gonna call me first, I'm over here inhaling chips, bro. I'm hungry. All right.
W.
So for me, usually, I'm gonna be honest, I look at like those other musicians out there who like pump out song after song like on command, and I'm like, bro, how do you do that? Because for me, I literally just, I can open up that DAW and nothing's ever gonna come out of there, right? But usually I'll get like a song or some type of melody stuck in my head, and then I'll sit there and I'll play with it for like a month.
Mhm.
And then it will evolve over time, and then I'll finally get so either annoyed or inspired by it that I will finally put it into existence in the real world. And it never comes out like I thought it will. And it starts to evolve into its own monster, and I kind of just follow the flow of it and how it's really like feeling. And then just kind of follow it where it leads and finish it up with mixing and whatnot. And I personally, even though I know this is not like the music process, I personally really care about the visuals afterwards too. So I'll put time into like making a nice little video for it, even if it's not too advanced. I really want to try and get the mood of the music along so that people, so that the visual can help influence the feeling of the auditory too. But yeah, that's really it. Yeah.
That's cool.
Okay. Mooney, you spoke up, so you volunteered. You're next.
Oh no! No, not again.
You put on the spot.
Let's see. My process follows Sapphire's actually really closely. It depends on the song and what end product I want. But oftentimes it starts with a melody that's stuck in my head, and I'll get that out into my DAW or whatever somehow. And a lot like Sapphire, it usually never turns out the way I want it to. But sometimes it's better, sometimes it's worse. But that's usually how it goes. Other times, for songs like ones that I sing, I usually start with lyrics first. I'll write all my lyrics down first, and then kind of figure out what chord progression I want to go with. Chord progression is a very important part of the song for me. I think that is what can really make or break the mood of the music. And then I just kind of go with that from there. I kind of just follow my gut and my heart on what sounds I want to make in the music. And I've tried to put a lot of effort into learning what synthesizers I'm working with to be able to get like the exact sound that I'm hearing in my head. And thankfully I've gotten pretty good at it. Still got a long ways to go, but I've made really big strides in that, and I'm really happy with how far I've come. But yeah, that's mostly the process, and then I'll do 3 or more takes of vocals, pitch correct them with Melodyne because I'm far from perfect, and then kind of just do some final mixing. And then as far as like visuals go, like Sapphire, I've never made a music video yet. I feel like that would be way too much work for me. But I do usually like to make my own album art because I'm also an artist as well, so I like to kind of make my own visuals in that respect. And then other times I have people help me with that. But yeah, that's kind of my process.
Based.
Yeah.
Okay. Atlas, your turn.
Yeah, creative process. Usually I just crack open the DAW and like for me, music is a really emotional thing. So usually I just try and whatever emotion I'm feeling that there, if I already have an emotion in mind, I'll try and form a track around that. And also, doing something new every time I go into the DAW, because the comfort zone can be the silent killer. So most of the time, I just every time I get in there, I try and do something new, and I'll try and attach emotion to it, as I do with everything, And most of the time, sometimes I'll end up making a whole track, and I'll absolutely hate it, and I'll toss it out. Or sometimes I'll make even just a tiny idea, and I'll fall in love with it. And usually, I can tell if something's really good because I'll just have a click in my mind that I'll know, and it's usually just about it. I mean,
Okay. Harmony.
All right. So the process is, I would say, always different for me. Because it's, same thing. I sit down, I open the DAW, but it's always different if I already have maybe lyrics in mind or if there's a musical theme in my brain. Sometimes it's something more pop oriented, something more funk, metal, progressive metal, So it really depends on what the mood is, but at the end of the day, I just sit down and I start getting a feel for, what is the theming of this song? What's the emotional theming? How does it flow? And then from there, I come up with, new lyrics, new melodies, chord progressions, all of that fit that kind of theming from beginning to end. Maybe I'll add some sound effects here and there. And then, that's the instrumentals done and the lyrics written. Then wait about half a year. Then finally sit down and record the vocals because I just cannot deal with the acoustic. So I always try to find another place to record the vocals. But yeah, it totally depends, but it's always kind of ended up with a product that I find to be satisfactory.
Okay. And Dolly.
All right, for my process, I'm a lot with Muni and staff about it's a long process for me. It takes a little bit of inspiration, motivation. If I just open up the program and maybe load some tracks, nothing's really going to happen unless I already have something in my mind. Or if maybe I'm auditioning synths and other sounds, maybe I downloaded a new sound pack or something, and this sounds really neat if I play these notes in this order, like this, and then it'll slowly start to come together. Like, okay, I need to add a little bit of this and put something over here, and okay, now I can start structuring the song a little bit. And once I got some of that, it just the momentum usually just builds, and then I'll be on a roll. Like I got to get it done, that session, or get most of it done, and then whenever. Depending on how I feel or how much time I spend on it, I might put it away for a day and come back and then see where I'm at and either listen to it and be like, oh, what did I do? And delete the whole thing, or like, okay, I can work with this. As far as remixes, usually I just like to hear something that like, oh, I could do something with this, or maybe it's in a style or a genre that's not quite what I would use if I spin, because I DJ also as a hobby, and like, oh, I could put this in, I can throw this in a set, except it's not the right fit. But I can take the parts and rearrange it this way and throw these beats and these other sounds on it. And so I'll take it, I'll chop it up, or if I can get stems, that would be great, and work with it that way. Otherwise, a lot of it is just playing around in the DAW, trying to just see what else I can put out, come up with that I haven't come up with before, or if it is something similar, maybe it's old enough that nobody would even know or realize that I've used it. Recycling, and that's pretty much how it goes. Lately, starting to collaborate with people is getting really interesting because I haven't really done that before, and it's really fun and exciting, and it helps with the inspiration and motivation to work with somebody else and have their ideas and feedback in real time, or go back and forth and hear what they do with your work, and then I can do something with your with their work, and in the end up with something that never would have existed otherwise.
Okay. So next question, and this one's probably one that I end up asking every podcast as well. For those that are just getting into music, they're just starting out and don't know what they're doing, what they need, what is the best bit of advice that you could give them? And again, I'm going to start with Drummer Shy.
Well, I had this conversation with Longest Soul Ever, if you guys know who he is. I would say start collabing with your friends. Like, collab with people that like your friends. Don't start out with a big name. Trust me, I made that mistake long ago. But I would say, just collab with your friends. Have fun. If you're making music to, have fun, that's all that matters. Is all you just have to really focus on is you're having fun. If you're like starting out as a musician, in the beginnings of the Brony fandom, everybody started out as an amateur. Like even the biggest artist today in any fandom music has started out as an amateur. So you're not alone. I would say just have fun, collab with your friends, and and grow as an artist, grow as a person. And then when you get to that point, really value, your collabs, because I think what the Longest Solo Ever did was like he started saying, hey, can we collab? It's like, okay, what value do you bring to the table? What type of value are you going to bring for both of us? Like, what can you do? Like what's going to help us out? So I would say just be yourself, have fun, get inspired. Don't focus on the views, don't focus on the subscribers, because let me tell you what, if you do that, it'll make you go crazy. Just do what you love. Be inspired by the types of media that you love watching. Like for me, My Little Pony, right? And now Digital Circus and Has Been Hotel, and I love those series, and I want to just do covers of it. And that's why I'm so proud of the work that I've done for these covers. So honestly, just have fun and collab with your friends.
Okay. Dolly, you can go next.
All right, I got a few tips for beginners. First off, do it because it's something you want to do, something you like, something you're into. If it gives you that drive and you have a passion for it, go for it. Forget about the fame and fortune. That's should be the last thing on your mind, because I don't know, genuinely speaking, or I'm sure there's a better word for that, it's probably not going to happen. Like, there's so much great music out there by so many unknowns who have been producing for so long. It's the reason why they do it is because they want to, that they like it, and that's why you should be into it too. Another tip: learn to listen to music, especially the music that you like, the kind of music that you want to make. And more than just like, well, just put it on in the background, and you know the words, and you know where all the breakdowns are, and but like pick it apart and figure out how it's done, or find sheet music, or find other groups that do that, and that should help you put it together yourself in your own way.
That's really funny that you give that advice, because that's something that, as a writer, most the accomplished writers that I know, including myself, all say, go read a book when you want to start writing, because that's one of the best ways to learn to do it.
Yeah, it's essentially the same piece of advice, just for music. Is the best writers are the best readers. Read what you want to write, and see how they do it, and just put your spin on it for the most part.
I think just kind of add on to what you were saying there. The words you're looking for is learn to listen analytically rather than just consuming the sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Don't just be a consumer of it. You're going to be a producer. You need to learn how to produce, analyze, and it wouldn't hurt to pick up some music making magazines at the bookstore and just skim through the articles at very least, and pick up whatever tips and tricks that you see in there. You don't need to start off with like a big, huge, expensive hardware set. If you look at the slideshow there, you can see photographs of my various iterations of my studio throughout the years. It's really just a big mess of like stuff I found at pawn shops, and cables that are too short, and not enough space to work with. Yet I'm able to do what I do and do it well enough that I'm happy with it. And especially in those older pictures, like some of my coolest stuff has come out of those speakers there.
Okay, is that it?
Yeah, for now. I'm sure I got other tips, but those are the really big ones.
Saf, your turn.
Oh crap! You keep on catching me by surprise, bro. It's like a jump scare of who's gonna go next. Okay. All right.
Gotta keep you on your toes.
Shh. All right. So, darn it. See, now I am not on my toes anymore. My toes have collapsed under my weight, and I don't know what to say. Hold on a second. Let me gather my bearings real quick. So I really
brain
think
cells together.
yeah, you gotta rub them together. Maybe some sparks will fly. Okay. So I think I have two really big things that I want to tell people who want to start making music. The first one is fuck around and find out, and the second one is be patient. And what I mean by fuck around and find out is not in the catch me outside, how about that way, but in the feel free to experiment and figure out how things work when it comes to the DAW or the digital audio workstation. If you don't have access to something like FL Studio or Ableton, or put expensive DAW name here, go to bandlabs.com or Soundation Studio or something like that. That's like free online digital audio workstations that work in very similar ways, and just mess around with it and learn how it works. And just make stuff. You probably won't make stuff that you like or that you think that you're going to make at first, but that's okay. That's where the be patient part comes in, because you're a new musician, and just like an artist as a child has to learn how to control the pencil on the paper and make it do what the brain wants it to do, which is not easy. Same for music. It takes a long time and a lot of practice, and the stuff you're going to make very early on is not going to sound like the stuff that you are so inspired by. But it doesn't have to. It's your baby steps, and if you like it, you like it, right? It's a learning step, and that's completely okay. So that's really it. Just fuck around and find out, and be patient.
I'd like to add to that.
Sure.
I totally agree. A lot of what you start out making, the first things you make, is probably going to be a lot of crap. So the idea is next time make better crap. Or if you're not really confident in your skills, then set out to make a crappy song. Just make something, and then just improve from there. And along with that idea, stealing the spotlight back for a second. Along with that idea, don't be set in a process that like, well, the professionals do it this way, and I should do it this way too. My plugins should be all in this order, and this stuff has to go here. Like, no, it doesn't. Whatever sounds
Mhm.
good to you, for whatever you're making, it's your song. If some other producers don't agree with the way you do it, then don't show them. Just let them enjoy your music.
Exactly. Literally,
Agreed.
some of the first music that I made, like that wasn't just loops put together, because I think a lot of people starting out in things like BandLabs and Soundation use loops. But the first piece of music that I made that was original, like I literally didn't know really what to do for any type of melody, so I just like randomly clicked the MIDI in place, and I was like, okay, there you go, that's the melody. It's just a bunch of beat boops, and it sounded interesting. My grandma said it sounded nice.
Her ears are bleeding. It's like, sounds nice, dear.
Yeah.
I'll remix it for you.
I already did. I already remixed my own stuff. Thank you very much.
Actually,
Okay.
that would be really interesting for me to, because I have old stuff that like I could not bear to listen to anymore because I made it so long ago. That would be really interesting to send it over and have you remix it.
I will say
Well,
this,
what can I
like
say?
with the patience thing comes this idea, right? The idea has value. Your execution may be hot garbage, but there was a valuable and precious idea behind that. Don't just look at the surface of the thing. Look into the reason why you made it and the meaning that you put into it. And that's the value that it has. And maybe later on, if you want to, try and use your new and better skills to extract the meaning that you intended all along much better with your new skills.
Going along with what Drummer Shy said about collaborating with people, that'd be a good way. Like if what you make is not quite there, maybe somebody you're working with or somebody you could work with could put it there, and you can learn from that.
I'll make this better.
God bless longest soul ever, because he really gave me some good tips on better collabing with people. God bless him.
All right, who's the next victim? I forfeit my turn.
I'm a bully
I had
Atlas.
my turn.
Can you restate the
How did I
question? 'Cause I don't
know?
even remember.
How did I know?
Tips for the
Probably the biggest piece of advice, and I've only been doing music production for like 4 years now, so I'm relatively new in terms of doing it as a career, right? The biggest piece of advice I could give anyone starting out is to just find your fucking sound. Like, don't worry about getting the perfect mix, right? Because in a world where you're shoved information everywhere all at once, specifically in production ecosphere online, it's a whole lot of mixing contact and what you're doing wrong here and how you should do this. And I think all mixing is just a way to refine what you already have, right? Part of it can be used as sound design, but a lot of it is just refining what you have. So find your sound first. Don't worry about having the perfect mix or anything, because I just see so many people, including myself, that get stuck in that gulag where you're you're just focused on technicalities and completely forget the creative aspect. And I would just say, just find your sound, and then once you are confident that you have found something that really represents you, then go and look into the technicalities of music and how to mix and how to master and do stuff like that. That's probably the biggest piece of advice I can give anyone starting out.
It's funny. It's the sound that I want is dance floor. I want festival or club back when there were clubs. But the bulk of my stuff is all really dark listening music, or it tells a story.
Same.
Okay,
Just
I'll stop
100% same. Like, all the stuff that I want is never how it turns out, but that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Who's
Okay.
next?
Harmony.
Oh.
All right. So at work, where I work, I basically work as a musical consultant, I guess, to younger people. One of the things that me and my coworkers say is just simply do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Because at the end of the day, by just doing it with no expectations, no anything, as some of you said, just having fun and doing it for the fun of it. That's all you need. because by then it comes naturally, all the skills and everything, as you get more used to how whatever DAW you use work and everything. You kind of get into this rhythm of, aha, this is how it goes and this is how it goes. Don't let other people decide how you yourself work. You know yourself best when it comes to composing, when it comes to writing maybe lyrics, to finding the perfect melody. It totally depends. But the best advice is just to do it. Just throw your hands into the pot, stir it around a bit. Oh, suddenly you got a 5-minute mishmash of stuff. Oh, no. I'll just do it again and again. And then suddenly, boom, you'll have a perfect little wooden horse.
But I want a metal horse.
But get a welder. No.
I feel like there's been several iterations of shit song is better than no song.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Somebody will like it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, as long as you like it, that's okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's an expression of oneself.
I mean, look at DJ Alex S in the beginnings of the fandom days. He made a couple of shit songs, and he got better, and then
Damn, really dissing on my boy. No, I'm just kidding.
Damn, I'm snitching on you, bro. I'm snitching on you.
Listen here, you.
I'm gonna go tell him
him
he
on
said
a regular basis.
I'm gonna tell him he said that. No, I'm kidding.
No. Well, you don't know him.
Yeah, I don't. Shit.
Yeah.
You've been called out.
I'll spam tag him online.
You don't hang out with him a lot. I do.
You know, fair. All right, I will accept the skill issue.
I'll accept the flex. Oh,
Oh, damn. I have been
Many.
signaled.
Okay, I'm actually glad I'm going last here because I still consider myself pretty new in the music making scene, especially for the genre that I'm writing for. Because like I said in my intro, I've been composing music for a long time, like over 10 years. But that was like only in the orchestral classical scene. My experience with mixing vocals and like electronic music is still relatively new. And this was really hard for me for a long time because as a beginner in the electronic music genre, I was comparing myself a lot to other people that have so much musical experience, especially in the fandom. Because I would always tell myself, like, I have like over 10 years of musical experience. Like, why can't I make my music sound as good as them? So for my advice, I would give to new people, as somebody who was just recently new in a sense and is just now coming out of that phase where I'm finally comfortable sharing stuff that I have. And this has been said before already, like, you just need to have fun with what you're doing. You just need to be happy with what you write. Don't worry about what other people are going to think about it. Everything that you write at first is going to be trash and it's going to suck. But also, people are going to like your music more than you think. I think a lot of people are way too hard on themselves. That's just the curse that we all have as artists. But yeah, do it for yourself, and also be vulnerable. Be open to learning more. Talk to friends. Talk to people that you know. Get their feedback. Seek advice from people that are, for lack of a better word, more talented or more experienced than you. I think that has helped me the most. Getting advice from other people, other producers, and then also getting past that whole thing of like, oh, I'm not good. I'm never going to be good. It takes a long time. I think it takes a long time. Actually, like the first electronic song I did, quote unquote, was probably like, probably at least 6 years ago. But I was out of practice. I wasn't doing it every day. I wasn't actively working at it. I wasn't practicing at it. So, like, of course, I wasn't as finesse when it came time for me to actually get serious about electronic music production. So yeah, patience with yourself is a big part of it for me, and you just need to have fun. Same sort of thing I said on the streaming episode of this podcast. Like, what matters is that you're happy and that you're happy with your work, and everything else will fall into place. So yeah, I think that's if I'm communicating my thoughts clearly enough, that's the advice I would give.
Okay. I think
Oh,
Can I add on this one thing that you did mention about, comparing yourself to others? I made that mistake. I made musician suicide a little bit. I accidentally compared myself to others when I was like very, very young, and that was a bad mistake I made in the Brony fandom at one point. But
Oh yeah.
definitely I have learned my lesson. And for any new artist that's currently watching, they're probably going to watch the stream later. Don't compare yourself to another musician. Just be yourself, please. Be inspired by them, but don't compare them to you or try to be above their rank, because it's like I made that mistake one time and I regretted it. But I'm just giving you some helpful information. Do not compare yourself to others.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it, guys. Do as I say, not as I do. Don't do it. It will end horribly.
Yeah. And I get it. Like,
there's also one thing, especially when it comes to like sharing your music around with your friends. One thing that I always think is always like never let the people around you's feedback guide all you do, because then you just become a puppet, right? But never
That's true.
disregard what they say. Like if
Yes.
they have genuine feedback. It can be very hard if you get negative feedback in the beginning, and that for me was very harsh. It made me feel very sad. But then instead of thinking about, oh, I just suck, I tried constructively going like, okay, but they told me, okay, this, and this is kind of bad. What if I try to fix these certain things, build off of what they say, and work on that? It's helped me so much when it comes to like boosting my own like process and writing, So never let them puppet you, but let them inspire you to become better. Especially with criticism.
Say something there?
Yeah.
Producers have this thing, and I'm guilty of it too. It just reminded me of it. If you're a producer and you are working on something and you send that work in progress to another producer, it's never what is right with this. It's always what is wrong with this. And so every time, I'm guilty of it too. People will send me things and I'll go, oh, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, and then like maybe I'll throw in there, oh, that sounds cool. And like all producers do it. All producers do it. I do it too. I have a horrible issue with it. But
It's a piece of shit. I might as well throw it in the garbage. Like,
I try to keep it balanced, at least. But to all that, I'd say wherever you go in your musical career, stay humble and remember where you came from.
yes.
Mhm.
oh
Oh
yeah,
yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
100%.
100%.
I'm actually going to add on something to what Atlas said. As a editor, I do editing for writing for a number of different writers, and that's something that you always gotta. If you're looking to help somebody, say like you're collabing with a friend music-wise, and they've just like they've done the equivalent of a run-on sentence in music, whatever that looks like.
My music.
Try to like point out the good things as well as the bad things for
No sidechain.
but yeah, the comparison thing I've kind of noticed just kind of goes for everybody. It doesn't matter, musician, artist, writer.
Mm-hmm. All
You're
creatives.
you're not gonna be you're not gonna be the immediately be Silverhound, TLT, Prince, whatever. So it is a good idea to like do what you do and do what you do for you, not for everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. Yeah.
Legitimately.
And then go ahead, Seth. You first.
No, I was just gonna say like just on a very, very very little note of like a practical application for like the whole add some compliments in there too. Generally, if I'm doing it, I try to like sandwich the criticism between compliments. So I'm like, oh, this sounds really nice, but like I don't know about this thing. I think it could use some work, but this other thing also sounds really nice too. Like, and so you get like double the compliment for like one critique, because in our minds as humans, negative things are weighted much more heavily than positive things, so they need more compliments for the more compliments compared to critiques. But anyway, sorry, that's just a little practical application there.
I try to do
yeah.
that too.
I was actually going to add as well that when it comes to critiques, sometimes people will give you some really nasty feedback. But if they actually give you like something that is wrong, it is always still worth looking at it and going, do I like how I did that? And deciding on whether or not it's worth acknowledging. Because you can get some pretty nasty feedback without actually like, it's easy to get that kind of feedback and go, well, I don't want to, they're being mean. I don't want to listen to them. Mm-hmm. Where they could have a genuine like thing that you may need to look at that you're just not thinking of because they sound mean.
Yeah, and I think that's
sometimes the messenger just sucks. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
but it doesn't mean the message is bad.
Your mix is ass. Give up now.
What I hate whenever is the exact opposite, where I get just the blind praise, where like, oh, that's so good because like, oh, they're my friend or they're a family.
Oh God, yes.
Like, no, like
I hate that.
I rather get negative criticism, at least as long as it's constructive. Like if you just tell me it's good because
that's the only type of criticism. Otherwise, it's just mean as fuck to say anything.
I mean,
well, yeah. If it's just if you're just telling me what you think I want to hear, it doesn't help. It doesn't improve me at all.
Mm-hmm.
What were you saying, Drummer Shy?
I was gonna say before I gotta head out soon, but I'll say to Golly, well, I mean, they're your family and your friends. They'll be your biggest supporters. I mean, that'll look on the bright side. Like, my family, like I have a pretty extensive family. They will support my musical journey, whatever I go. So, my subscribers and fans will always, be a part of it, but my family and friends will always be first. They will be the first supporters to go out. And the thing is like, that's all you need is your family and friends. Like, sometimes in any music industry, right? If you're trying to do something, it's like, hey, I'm trying to perform, trying to get on, and you play on the small stage and you try to build up, and then you have to deal with some of the groupie type of stuff. It's like with any fandom that you try to do music in, you're always going to have the people saying, oh well, you're a musician but you're not popular enough to play on stage, blah 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 blah. That type of stuff. It's kind of a little degrading, but it also gives you motivation to say, I have to work myself up to be where I am, but just don't do it too aggressively. But I have been seeing a little bit of a trend in all communities, where kind of like that clique mentality of who to put on stage and represent. Again, they're only doing this to sell tickets. I mean, that's basically the deal. But I mean, honestly, your biggest supporters will be your friends and your family, straight up.
I would imagine that when it comes to like conventions and stuff like that, they're gonna put the butts that sell tickets on stage before they put the new guys, and then you gotta like sandwich the acts just right so that people will come see the new guys instead of being like that one guy nobody's ever heard of at the very end that he gets on stage and one guy standing out in the audience.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
Because I imagine that's even more demoralizing. It's like, I made it on the stage. You get out there, it's like one guy and a bunch of crickets.
You know what? Yeah. And you know what? That one person's going to get the performance of their life and nobody else will.
Yeah.
True.
And I will say like back to the damn wow, that train of thought really just left the station. Never mind.
Great. Start rubbing them brain cells.
Mooney, clip that for me.
Why do I always come on here and I get this stupid when I come on here?
You see, I speak truth to power, man.
Oh, that was great.
Yeah.
Right, okay. So it's like about the compliments thing, right? Like, oh, just only getting compliments. Like, I don't know if this is like the same for any of y'all, and this is kind of a side tangent, but like for me, it's like some of the biggest compliments are the ones from like people who really know what they're doing with music.
Of
Like,
course.
Because
Yeah.
then I know like
Well, because they understand the
know.
struggle.
Yes,
Like,
well, it's not just they understand the struggle, but like not only do they understand the struggle, but they also have really high amount of skill and standard, and yet they like this.
They have a lot of insight, yeah.
Yeah,
And it means much more because of that. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
I actually, as a writer, I get that too, because I remember the reason why I decided to like pursue writing as a career further was because a fucking college professor of 40 years looked me in the eyes and said, "You have a gift. Do not stop writing." So yeah, I get that.
Nice.
All right, I have to bounce out.
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank
See
you
you
for
later, Bouncy
coming
Shy.
on.
Bye, drummer.
Goodbye, drummer shy. I mean, drummer shy.
Yeah, I'm gonna get you. All right, time to go to sleep.
Good night.
Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Well, there he goes.
There he goes.
A hero.
Nobody knows I've had Justin Bieber on in the background for like an hour now.
You know,
Oh my gosh.
That's kind of cringe, bro. baby.
Why?
I was just about to begin.
All right, what's the next question, Nameless? If all of us are ready to move on, I guess I don't know.
Well,
Yes.
Yeah, I'm down, yeah.
I was going to say I've as a DJ, I've played to more empty rooms than filled rooms.
Oh, pain.
Yeah, but those who have stuck around to listen to my sets have, like as been said, have gotten the show of their lives.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
that kind of leads to a question like, at what point is an empty room too empty to perform?
That's a good question.
Never.
Yeah, I was about to
for
say
me, I'd say never.
Everybody answer at once. It depends on on how much you want to
It's like-
perform.
I always just take whatever I can get, and be grateful
Yeah.
for that, and just keep moving.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've never performed in front of an audience before, but
You should.
if I were to perform, I know I should at some point. I'd like to.
I'll be
But
laying in bed and I'll think about like in my head about like performing in front of like just a fucking massive crowd, and then like grind mindset comes on. I'm like, all right, tomorrow I'm making like 12 new IDs. Always.
Yeah.
It's like even if I don't make it there, I'm gonna get as close to that fucking dream as possible. And so that pushes me, dude.
Yeah.
You know,
I was gonna say though, like, for me, if I were to perform for an empty room and nobody shows up, that to me is still just practice for what I'm doing, at least.
yeah,
And
Oh, yeah.
eventually
100%.
people will trickle in. Yeah.
playing to an empty room it can be real discouraging. But for me, it's like, well, I mean, nobody's here anyway. I'm going to screw around and have fun with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I might pull
Oh,
off
yeah.
something amazing that like, ooh, I got to do this when there's actually people here next time.
Good practice if
Yeah.
nothing else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I know in particular, I was there to see one of Golly's sets, and I know like nowadays DJing. Sorry, I want to brag on Golly a little bit, but like DJing nowadays is very like it. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it certainly seems a lot easier than it was, because I mean, like, I watched this dude pinch and spin the little nub on
Yeah, the
the
spindles?
record on the spindle on the record player to make sure that the beats stayed aligned with each other, and really pay attention to all that, and made it sound flawless. So like it's quite the experience to watch. So
Out of
Yeah.
curiosity, I have no idea how DJ equipment, like what the fuck, how does that shit work? Like what do you guys do up there? You guys just like
these
blend
days you just push a lot of
tracks?
buttons.
in a set or what? Like, I know that's like the base of it, but like, how does that?
Well, it depends on what you're going for and the type of set you're spinning. If you have very little time, but you had to spin, like maybe there's too many DJs have been scheduled, so you get like a half-hour block. Like, well, you're probably going to pre-plan your set and have everything in the right order, and maybe even all your tracks prepared ahead of time, especially if you're DJing digitally, to where you just load the song, play it, and move on to the next one. Just curate your set that way. If you have all night to spin, maybe you've been scheduled for the whole night, or maybe you're doing just your own little Twitch stream or something, then you can go more just wing it on the fly, just play whatever you feel like. Or maybe you're doing a party or an event, you watch the crowd and see what they're responding to, and try and just keep the dance floor packed. Or maybe if it's been packed long enough, you want to give some people some breathing room. Or you notice not enough people are buying drinks, then you try to influence the crowd.
If people are drinking, you don't got to try that hard anymore. Nobody's gonna notice if you fuck up anymore.
Now, as far
Wrong
as
loop back point. Up, forget that. Nobody cares.
As far as
They won't even notice.
The actual procedure method, if you're spinning vinyl, it's a lot of work, a lot of listening. You don't get to enjoy the tracks that you're playing because you're too busy queuing up the next one, making sure your tempos are matched and your beats are aligned, and then your cue points are set. And then when the right time comes, you start off the next song and you do a quick listen to make sure everything's lined up properly. Then you start bringing it in, or slam the crossfader over, whatever your style is, and move on to the next one. Or nowadays it's been a lot about like crowd interaction. You see the DJs dancing around on stage and doing all this crazy stuff. Back in my day, we had nobody knew where the DJ booth was in the club. They were in a corner and they had a little tiny window to the dance floor or something, because it was just about the music. It wasn't about the stage presence like it is today.
Oh yeah.
But I think it's the evolution of the equipment that has led to that, because nowadays digitally we have beat sync, we have pitch lock, track analysis, stems, and all sorts of features that let us do a lot more, a lot easier. And it doesn't necessarily take away from the yard. It can really add to it if you know what you're doing creatively. Or you can take the lazy way out and let the equipment do it for you, where you are just pressing buttons. And that's a whole other topic where no DJ can agree on.
Oh, controversial. Yeah.
So before I ask the next question, I got to ask Dolly a question. When you're going to perform on main stage for HarmonyCon?
Oh my.
Yeah.
That would be amazing, but I don't spin the kind of music that they want to hear, and I don't do all the antics on stage. I don't
know if they can get the guy with the harmonica on that they did the one year. Then I'm pretty sure that you could get on there too.
Yeah,
I'll go on stage when they do an after hours. When they extend the concerts into after hours sets and stuff, I can do that. And just spend a nice journey for an hour, 2 hours.
I mean, you say that, but like, I'm pretty sure people would be just completely fine with the type of stuff you spin. I know I am. Like, I would go to, not like the dance floor. It's like more like chill, but like still, it's nice to chill to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So a lot of what I spin is not pony music. It's hard for me to find pony stuff in that directly aligns with the genres that I play. I need my longer runways, because a lot of DJing performances now are play as many songs as you can, as fast as you can, and burn through your whole library within an hour or whatever. Like, no, I'm in it for the long haul. I'll play the 8-minute track, all 8 minutes of it, and over the course of half an hour, you wouldn't realize you listened to like 5 different songs because they're so perfectly blended together. Like that's what I'm more about DJ wise. Again, like where the contrast is, a lot of people just slam from one song to the next song to the next song, all the hits, and leave nothing for the other acts to follow up on.
So I'm
But
gonna
yeah,
ask.
I'll spin HarmonyCon main stage when when they want me to. I'll
I
be
believe
around.
you have to apply for it. So, like, just like everybody else.
Yes.
I'm just
apply.
afraid. I'm afraid that it won't be well received without the stage antics, and just the ear
I
splitting,
mean-
ear candy.
I mean, if you like have the like full fancy like turntable setup, I'm pretty sure most people understand that you can't do the dancey shit that a lot of the people do because you're going to be
Mhm.
messing with the thing the whole time. Because I've noticed some of the DJs that they have on there that are jumping around and stage presence and all of that, they're using laptops.
Yeah, laptop DJs, and there's nothing wrong with that. It opens up a lot of doors to things that you can't do with vinyl.
Mm.
Um,
I'm pretty
But,
sure
you know.
they've had people spinning vinyls before on the main stage.
I'd be curious how that would how the turntables would react. My biggest fear would be the bass would vibrate through the stage into the tables, into the actual the setup table, through the turntable through the needle, and it'd just be a feedback nightmare.
Rubber. Lots of rubber and cotton.
Pretty
Yeah,
much,
I couldn't.
like,
I couldn't tell you on that one. I'm not a musician.
I've seen DJs set up their turntables on sponges and
I'm
inflatable.
sorry. I'm just thinking of like a freaking turntable like sitting on like 4 scrub daddies.
Yeah, same.
that was exactly what went through my head too.
For my style, it's just more progressive. It wouldn't matter. But if you like to do a lot of turntablism, that could be tricky if your table's actually bouncing around while you're manipulating the record.
All right, what's up, Nameless? The
Yes.
next topic.
So, time to throw the
Oh.
gasoline on the fire. Saf, you
Ah,
don't get to
shit.
answer first.
What?
So,
Ooh.
nowadays, there's this very big topic going around: generative AI. As
Oh,
musicians, what is
Oh,
your
I have so much to fucking say on that.
I had a feeling we're gonna go with some other people first that I am hoping are not going to spend 3 hours trying to wax poetic on it.
Yeah, you let him go first. You let him go first. I can go last.
Okay.
Harmony, I don't know your opinion on it yet, so we're gonna let you go first.
Okay. I have a very, very emotional kind of, let's say, relationship to AI, generative AI. The process in making your art is the most important step. That basically means like the if you're an artist that does digital art, for example, or if it is music, right? Every note, every stroke, everything that you put into it is so you, and it's so important to the meaning of the piece, right? Generative AI has no idea what any of these things are, what emotion is, what anything human is, right? Generative AI doesn't really know what like formulas are, for example, and it basically takes away from the years and years and years of experience from actual artists in all their fields, be that art or music or whatever, where it just feels like theft in a way, especially when we think about the databases and everything, once we get into that kind of debate. And yeah, I just cannot say that I will ever be supportive of it existing, because it's essentially erasing human expression through art, because they're removing the human from the process.
I agree.
That's where I stand on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Golly, I'll let you go next.
All right, I am still forming my thoughts on AI, where it is right now and where it will go. and where we are predicting it to be going. It's as it is in say, the visual arts, paintings, drawings, 3D, and all of that. It's really fun to play around with, but when it comes down to business, it's like, okay, put that away. Let's do things for real. And but sooner or later, I'm seeing the ads where it's like, okay, well, you can paint out this part of the picture and use the AI to generate what you're looking for to fill it in for you automatically. It takes a lot of the steps away, and it helps you get to where something you're satisfied with. But the problem is, what are we losing in that when we don't learn how to do it for ourselves or do the work for ourselves? For me, it would not be as rewarding, and that alone would be enough to keep me from relying on it. But musically, again, like, it sounds like it would be really fun to play with, to just like throw into a prompt like, what if the Beatles collaborated with Skrillex, or something, and then like
That'd be some crazy shit, actually.
yeah, hear the
Yeah.
the crazy stuff, the garbage, or the genuine whatever amazingness that might come out of it. And like, oh, but then you don't have to use it or anything. You can maybe use it as a inspirational point, or maybe you can chop it up and take a piece of it and make it your own, reintroduce the human element to it. But as far as my workflow and everything goes, I have not had any real experience with it yet, and I don't think I really will get that chance for at least for a little while. I mean, I'm sure it'll become so available that anybody with a browser can just become the next top tier fake producer. But other than all that, I really don't have a solid opinion on it yet. I think right now, ideally, it would be really, like I said, fun to play with. It could help out with a bunch of little things, or even bigger things. Maybe there's an AI to make to auto set my compression for me when all I keep doing is making muddy whatever. Then I can learn what it's doing and apply that to my own process. I don't like relying on more than just myself, unless I'm collaborating, in which case I love relying on whoever it is I'm collaborating with, because that's the point of it. So a bunch of non-helpful answer from me.
Mooney.
I've been thinking about this. I've always kind of understood how a lot of artists like us, or like painters or otherwise, feel threatened by AI. But I guess a part of me never really fully understood feeling that threat until I heard AI generated music. I'm kind of conflicted about it, because on one hand, whatever, the technology is really cool. I think it's amazing that we have AI that can do this. I think it's so cool what AI can generate from just text. But on the other hand, I also am concerned about, I think, like we've mentioned, like taking the human element out of creativity and out of music, out of art. I guess just the last thing I want to see is people calling themselves musicians when really they're just writing text and the AI is coming out with music for them. It kind of makes me feel a little bit less like a musician myself. It feels like the art is lost in that. When I call myself a musician, I want to be coming up with the lyrics and the music and everything up all by myself, basically. I do almost everything I do from scratch. And if I use anything else, it's like, if I use anybody else's stuff, it's like a preset that shipped with the synth that I'm using, or it's like a public domain sound effect that I find. I guess my point is, I just don't want to see that human element lost. I don't want to see that the what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to see the value of talent going away. I don't want to see like the work and the time that it takes to make music from scratch. I don't want to see that undervalued just because we have people that come out with these prompts who are like, oh, look, I can just make what you do in under 10 seconds because I can write this prompt and look what this AI can do. And like, yeah, that's cool. It's really cool that we can do that. But like, I don't, and listen, I hate to gatekeep. I hate gatekeeping by like every sense of the word. I hate it so much. But when it comes to AI, I feel like there needs to be some healthy amount of gatekeeping there because I don't want everybody to call themselves artists and musicians because they can write text in such a way that an AI can just do it for them.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much talent and effort lost in that sense, I think. Those are my thoughts on it.
All right. Can I go back and say add something to my thought?
Sure. Yeah.
I just remember I saw an article a little while back where they used AI to translate brainwaves into producing a picture, interpreting what somebody was looking at.
Oh yeah.
And the pictures were surprisingly similar. They're very different, but like the ideas were there. And of course, all this technology is in its infancy. But if that were to be developed enough, maybe there will be a time where the song that we make will be the song that's in our head, and it'll be thanks to AI.
And then it's gonna sound like shit.
Because
I really do think that while I do romanticize the music that's in my head is very underdeveloped, you know. Sorry. Go.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe we'll find out that's actually the case, and then there's $10 trillion well spent.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm excited about. If I can get excited about this, just messing around with it. But yeah, when it comes down to it, like you still need the human element. But yeah,
I think that would be cool to have us just like put what's in our head on a computer. I think that's awesome. Also, what I wanted to say, I like the point that Crystal brought up in our VC chat. They said that getting the darn AI to give you something actually good is an art. It's just a new art form, not a new form of an existing art form, in their opinion. Calling them prompt artists. I think that's a good point. I agree. I think like getting an AI to do what you want can be hard. It is an entirely new art form. I guess I don't know how we're going to differentiate. Like, if you go on Spotify and you find a song that you really like, how are we going to differentiate whether that was made by an AI or an actual person? Because I think I would like to be able to.
Segregation? No.
Gosh, no, not like that. No, I think I would just like people to be transparent about what their process is. Like, was this made with an AI, or like, did you actually do this from scratch? Yeah. Because, like I said, I just don't want the value of talent and work to be lost because we have people with AI talent posting and publishing songs on Spotify and then just making money off of it for who knows what little effort, little or a lot of effort.
You know that. Excuse me. That goes into the idea of the DJ just being a glorified jukebox. Like all you're doing is you're getting you're a record player essentially. and no, it's more than that. At least if you take it seriously, you're programming a show, you're curating for the crowd, and sharing all your favorite stuff with them. And you hopefully the people that are there to see you, it becomes their favorite stuff too. Whereas the AI version of that is just put some music in the jukebox and hit random.
Yeah.
Okay, Atlas, your turn.
I think, right, as a musician, I'm going to talk about this from a musician's perspective, right? Because I'm not an artist, I'm not any of that. I'm just a musician, right? AI does not threaten me. It does not scare me. I do not see it being a danger to what I do simply because I do not leverage my creative works for financial gain. And I don't really care for fame, right? The only reason that AI gets so much pushback is because there are a lot of people who they support themselves financially based off of what they do, right? Like artists, right? Like
Mhm.
some design logos for major companies, others do commissions on fucking Instagram, right? And AI is a threat to them because it's essentially taking what is partially their job as well, right? It's not only a creative liberty for them, but it's a job. To me, because I don't care to make money off of what I do, not saying that's something that you shouldn't strive for if you think you can do it, right? Like if you want to try and make money off of doing what you love, that's great. But me personally, right? I don't care to make money off of what I do. I don't really care how many people see what I do. AI can try and mimic me all at once. It could sound a lot like me, right? Or what I make, but I know it'll never truly be me. So even if people flock to it and it makes a ton of money and somebody's using my AI, I couldn't care less. So it's not me, right? So it does not threaten me unless I were to try and leverage what I make for financial gain, or I am trying to become popular off of what I'm making, right? That's my view on it.
All right.
Okay.
That's a fair take.
Saf.
Oh no! Why? Why do you always do me? No, I'm just kidding.
You're the only one left.
Why did I decide to sign up for this podcast? No, I'm just kidding. So I agree with the sentiment that it takes away the process. But I also agree that there's a totally new process that steps in. I could go on and on about how, right now, like, if you developed an AI song, and you wanted to, like, replace this one snare drum in, like, the middle of the song, like, it would wig out and kill itself because it doesn't know how to do that, right? But one day that's not going to be the case, and you'll be able to just tell it and just continue to modify it. And man, there's probably going to be some like weird pin interface, or we're just all going to have brain interfaces by that point. My primary concern is, as stated before, the devaluing of artists, and specifically the loss of the loss of all the artists that do try and make a living off of what they do. Because, I mean, let's just be honest, for those who at least live in America right now, it's kind of difficult to get by. And you have to do a lot of work just to survive nowadays. And when you're in the middle of having to constantly put forth your 100% just to survive, and you can't make any money off of this little hobby just to make up for the time, at least to make up for the time you spent doing it, it makes it a lot harder to do that. Even if you love it, makes it a lot harder to do that. And I feel like we're going to lose a lot of wonderful musicians out there.
Yeah.
And composers. At the same time, I think that there is already going to be an information apocalypse, as some people are calling it, where you won't know what is AI generated or what is or isn't AI generated, and it's going to be confusing. And I don't know what I'm going to do at that time. I don't know how I will react at that time. All I personally know is that I'm going to do my best to keep on expressing myself through music because I love doing it. And I would hope that other people do the same. If someone finds that making AI music is a cool expression, then, I mean, good for them. The thing is that Pandora's box is opened at this point. There's no shutting it. And unless there's some type of genuine huge apocalypse that takes away all of our technology, which of course at that point it would just be a matter of time before people just start reactivating that crap. Unless there's something like that, AI is here to stay. And it is definitely scary staring at the unknown, even when it comes to my music. So that's my opinion on it.
Have you guys? Go ahead.
Okay, I was going to say what to what Saf just said, but we're going to lose a lot of artists. I think that's the biggest threat right now of AI is the artists that we'll lose, and the potential artists that we would have otherwise that are going to take the easy way out and just start prompting AI instead of, making their own craft.
Yeah. There is this big loss of mastering engineers right now with the rise of AI. Like, for instance, one of the most popular mastering suites made by Isotope, they now have an AI function where you can just take your track, throw it in, and then click the AI button, and it will automatically master the track for you. And I thought it would probably sound like shit, but it's surprisingly good. Like, it's a threat to mastering engineers who do that as a job. Like, it's a genuine threat. Because you could spend a couple $100s on a mastering engineer to master something for you, or you could spend a little less than that and have something that will always be there for you, right? And will basically sound the same, roughly.
Hi, non-mastering engineer here. What the fuck's that?
Yes.
You talking about the mastering suite I'm talking about?
No, he's asking what a mastering engineer is.
Oh, so when you create a track, right, as a producer, most of the time you'll do the mix down, which is basically you're just changing levels, you're creating a space for everything to fit accordingly, and then like the master, right, is just kind of like the extra bit of polish that is put over the track before it gets sent out to streaming services or wherever your distributor puts your music. So it's just kind of like that final bit of gloss that goes on your track.
Sure, I should try that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that stuff. I just make it sound wherever
It's crazy. I do kind of like the implementation of AI and noise reduction plugins. Like that. Yeah. That's kind of cool because
I will say on that, like, and like literally, I feel kind of bad because like in the Creator Hub's AI rule thingy, like it literally mentions the reverb removal because I found an AI that like will just like very faithfully remove reverb from vocals, and like the thing is, you can't do that. Like there was no way to do that before. You either had to record it right, or you had a fucked up vocal.
We were talking about that actually. Yeah. That specific de-reverb plugin.
Tool. But as a tool, though, that's a difference.
Yeah, as a tool.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like, never before have you been able to remove like reverb from a recording like that. Like I mean, if you were to go back a couple of years, like some recordings would be unsalvageable, and now with technology like this, you can throw it on and it's usable again. It's crazy stuff.
That's cool. See, like these are the use cases that I love for AI. I love AI as a tool rather than as a replacement for the entire process as a whole. Because I love the idea of using AI to like remove reverb or to master my track for me or things like that. That's a lot more appealing to me as a musician than being able to generate an entire song.
I know.
Well, like I would never want to do that in the first place. It just rips all the magic out of fucking producing. Because at that point, you're not even producing; you're just like generating shit, like with prompts. It's like, well, that's boring,
I know that with writing, they're also like implementing AI into tools like Grammarly, because there are writers that use Grammarly, and it's actually gotten to the point where a lot of its corrections, if you have like the paid version, when you turn in like say a college essay, it'll pop up as being written by AI.
Oh yeah, I've seen.
Yeah.
What's funny is in writing I'll use Grammarly, but it often gets everything wrong. Like, no, I meant to say that like that. No,
like some extensions of AI are still really shit. I'll just say that much. Like,
no, this is a character saying something. It's supposed to sound like that.
Yeah. I don't know. I think as in terms of like tools in music, it's really powerful. Really, really powerful stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that most people don't have issues with it as a tool. It's when that's why I specify generative AI, because most of those are not generative AIs. They're AIs that are being trained to like recognize things like this is people speaking. This is random fart noise in background.
Great example, Nameless. Great example.
W.
Delicious.
Can I get that plugged in the AI fart machine?
Oh, darn.
Can someone make an AI
Yeah,
fart
very
machine? now?
useful generative AI.
Like I will say this, like one of the things that I will say is like using AI for jokes and to just break it is like at that point you're not taking it seriously, right? I have done that like once or twice before, and if you just do some random gibberish bullshit, it's going to create some of the weirdest but funniest things I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah,
Just pure
it's so
chaos.
new that it doesn't even know what to do sometimes. Like it'll just spit out some of the weirdest shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
see,
there
that's
was
what I
one,
say when I like to play around with it. That's it. I'll enter prompts like, "Show me what enlightenment looks like," or just abstract concepts.
Yeah, like really abstract
Yeah.
things.
Like you can ask it to invent a new color and it just absolutely explodes. You're like, what? Just doesn't know what to do.
We're sorry, but there's only 256 different RGB values.
Yeah.
Make a new one. It just goes, sweats.
Or you perfectly describe a scene down to the smallest detail, circa 2947.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, okay.
Oh yeah, like the.
Okay. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go through audience questions. If anybody got any, I see at least 2 available. And then once we go through the audience questions, we're going to have the session where we, or the like section of the section of the podcast where I play the music for all of the musicians here.
Oh, boy.
Okie dokie Loki.
So I think the first question we're actually going to go.
We have questions.
We do.
We have 2, as far as I'm aware. I'm actually about to check the Discord, make sure there aren't any other ones hiding from me. Yeah, so we're going to go with Mooney's first, because Mooney wanted to know what the most difficult song you've ever written, whether in complexity or emotion.
Ooh.
Gotta think about that one.
That's a good
I know
fucking question.
immediately.
Yeah. I asked this because I wanted to know, because just recently I wrote a song that was really difficult for me emotionally. I've heard a lot about musicians that have expressed a lot of their traumas and emotion through their songs and how difficult they are just to listen to as a listener. So that's kind of something I wanted to try myself, because I've experienced a few things in my life that have scarred me emotionally. And so I tried to write a song about that. And it's a song about, like, in general, losing people. Like, losing my brother to mental illness and losing my wife to divorce because it just wasn't working out. And it was very difficult. Trying to word this correctly. When I went to record that song and sing it, it was easy the first time. And then I realized that my DAW wasn't armed for recording, so the entire take went out the window. Yeah.
I feel that pain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then my next take, the words just really got to me, and I couldn't get through the entire take because I broke down in tears, and like the emotion of it got to me. And it was just like an awakening to me of how raw music is when it comes to emotional expression, because I do not consider myself a crier by like any means anymore. I used to be. I used to be a lot more emotional, But it's not until I really dive into those feelings and get into a very raw expression of them that they hurt like that and that they get to me like that. And then I finally realize like just the depth and the intensity of those emotions. But yeah, and then I wanted to expand it to like maybe the most complex songs that you've written too, because I know that those exist too. But I was so curious to hear about like if any of you have experienced that, where you've written something emotional and you maybe had some similar experience.
Oh yeah. I think I'll start with this one because I have a song that is not only the most complex, like when it comes to like the different things that I do within it, but also emotionally so. It is a song that's 18 minutes long with like 11 different sections that go through trauma,
Holy shit, dude.
Wow.
right? And the problem with that song is that it's so. This situation that I'm singing about, or this individual that I'm singing about, is like this situation happened less than 2 years ago. And I wrote that the second that, I broke out of that situation and finally got free. As I started processing the emotions and everything, I started writing. So the first section is anger, then it goes into regret, then guilt, sadness, acceptance, then bounce back to anxiety, all of these different sections, right? And yeah, like that is probably like I still haven't finished it, is the thing, because it's still kind of fresh, right?
Yeah.
And lyrically, there's like 5 or 4 pages of text of the
Wow.
words that I have to sing. But I would say that in the music that I haven't released.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
18 minutes. Wow.
That's what happens
It's a
when you
long
do
fucking.
prog.
That's a.
It beats my record.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
a prog metal song. Like if you do prog metal, you at some point you're going to write those 20-minute long epics,
Yeah.
So when you play it live, you have another 20 or 30 minute breakdown that you added on the spot, right?
Yeah.
Just get in the zone.
Ooh.
I have been disconnected from my emotions for most of my life because during the traumatic years of my childhood, I learned to bury all of those emotions and numb them. And I have been learning how to re-experience feeling. And with that came the development of PTSD and having these flare-ups of just sudden overwhelming pain and misery and echoing voices, not literal voices, but like echoing voices of just self-hatred and all of the abusers that have been in my life just echoing in my mind. And it just, I wrote a song literally in one of those dark moments. I wrote a song called A Little Bit of Darkness, and it's the one that I submitted for the thingy later.
Oh,
And
man.
it particularly, the way that you're supposed to listen to it is you're supposed to listen to it where the chorus part, like the big kind of explosion of emotion, is overwhelmingly loud that you can't hear your own thoughts, because that's how it feels for me. And just the suddenness, and just like, it's funny because you hear Fluttershy say, "I'd like to be a tree," and then like it all starts to get more intense because it's like things like that, just random things that will trigger my PTSD, and I have no control over it, and it just comes in. I'm like suddenly depressed and miserable for the next 10 minutes and like can't breathe. And so that was kind of an expression of that. And I will be honest, I've definitely used that song to actually help me get through some of those things some of those instances, and it's helped quite a lot. But
Yeah.
that was probably the most emotionally difficult one for me to make, or at least most emotionally charged. As for the most difficult one to make, if we want to answer that one now, it's just a short answer. There was one that I made back in 2020 called "You Are Beautiful," and it was actually in response to to a friend's like
Slight.
self-hatred,
Yeah.
like how much they hated themselves, and a personal message to them and anyone who listens to the song. And in the bridge there is like this big kind of explosion of orchestral music that's like really happy and hopeful, and that crashed my computer. And it was very complex to do, and that was the first and only song that I ever completed and sung lyrics to, completely on my own. So it was very difficult. Lots of auto tune afterwards because damn, I didn't want to listen to myself.
You and me both.
All right, who's next on what is the most emotional song you've written, and what is the most difficult like to make song you've made? I think that was the
I
question.
mean,
right?
I guess I'll go. I made a song about a year ago called "Best Friends," and it was it's gone now. It's well and gone. Honestly, I can't even. I don't think there's any. Like usually, if I delete something, somebody has it archived somewhere because I'll post it half the time. But it's gone, and it was a song that I wrote when I was going through a really rough time in my life. My house had just burned down, and I had to move to a completely different town. And all of my friends that I knew, I'd grown up, years growing up with these people. They just, I fell out of touch with them, and that was my whole social life,
Mhm.
And so I had moved to this new town, mainly an elderly people town, my home life wasn't great because I could say this now because it doesn't bother me, but my dad is a meth addict, so he's fucking insane. So really rough home life. I was going through a lot at the time, and I would always have my best friends there to help me with those things. You know what I mean? And then I realized how toxic they were and how much they didn't really fucking care for me. Eventually, and it really hurt me. And so I wrote the song called "Best Friends," which is exactly about that and feeling alone and feeling like I didn't have anybody. It was just it. I mean, the project was so big it would crash every 5 seconds. But yeah, it was just a really rough time in my life. That song, if I still had a copy of that song, I'd cherish that thing. But yeah, it was. I wrote it in a really rough time in my life. It's probably the most complex song melodically I've ever written. Probably one of the songs I spent the most amount of time on to date. So
Wow.
I guess it leaves me. Everybody else is gone.
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm not a musician. I'm not answering this question.
time to form an answer and be out with it. And this whole time I've been thinking like, well, okay, well let's answer the complex or I'll say technically challenging song. I would say it's the one I haven't started yet. But whatever it is, whatever it's going to be, I want to get into this rhythm or thing where then the next song I learn something new or do something new, or I don't want to just keep making the same versions of the old songs over and over again. I want to not necessarily break new ground, but keep it interesting and really expand my oral palette, so to speak. So that means breaking out of my comfort zone, my little box of I like this synth and I like this drum kit and things. As I'll start experimenting around with glitchy sounds and swing beats. And what if I write a song without a snare, or something? Give myself little challenges. So it's always going to be the next song that I make is going to be the most technically challenging. As far as emotional goes, When I think about it, I don't think I've ever really sat down and put emotion directly, like actively, like, okay, it needs to feel this way.
I mean, you made
or whatever.
Scootaloo. I'm just going to point that out.
To that, like it just happens, and while I'm in the groove and it's playing, I'm listening to the subtle changes over and over. It comes along that way, and yeah, Scootaloo might be one of the more outwardly emotional tracks that I've made lately. It's it wasn't until maybe I was somewhere in the middle of the song that it really started to put itself together for me. And like, oh yeah, but I didn't feel the emotion myself. Like it's not something I was going through or whatever. It's something I was manufacturing for the song. But to the spirit of the question, I feel like it's more like a song that I myself might be emotional about or have a strong emotion towards creating. And the only one I can think of right now is one that I wrote for a friend as an audio hug from one to another, so to speak. I wanted it to be more than just a collection of loops painted across a canvas, and but at the same time, I didn't want it to be so overly complex, overly produced that like no, just get to the heart of it all, and find a way to express like, hey, I might not say that I know how you feel, but I want you to know that you're not alone in this. And while everybody's experiences are different, I had somewhere else to go with that. Something along those lines that I'm here, and in my own way, I'm right there with you, and so it took a long time for me to sit down and actually start working on the song, because I was so concerned with getting that message out through the music, that it didn't just sound like another cheesy, fun, goofy little piece of work. Like no, I'm trying to be serious in this one. All the way up to the limitations of my capabilities, and it's. I'd like to say it did its job. I don't have much else to say about that. Just that's the only one I can really think about.
Okay. So we got 2 more questions we're going to answer, and then we'll do the musical section. First question from Adventure Blue 21: is streaming music through Spotify, Amazon Music, etc. difficult to make money for brony musicians?
I mean, I haven't made anything yet, so
Like
I don't go through distributors like that.
like I made a video not so long ago, well, a couple of months ago, basically saying I'm not posting my music to Spotify anymore because of exactly this. Spotify and other streaming services, they don't pay anything, like anything significant per stream, right? And so if you're going to release music, the best thing to do if you think monetarily would to release it to a site like, for example, Bandcamp, right? While if you want to have it more accessible, if you want to like kind of be like, okay, I maybe don't want to make the big bucks when it comes to my music, I just want people to hear it, then streaming services are like, of course, like if that's what you want to go for, but it comes at the cost of the monetary side of things. But if you want to, then I would make money off of it. I would say Bandcamp is the way to go.
okay, I found my earnings on SoundCloud. I have made a whole 1 cent through all of my streams on Spotify and YouTube Music and everything.
I didn't know you can make music on make money on SoundCloud.
SoundCloud has a distribution service, so this is through Spotify and everything too.
Okay. Okay.
A whole whopping penny.
Yeah.
I bet you won't even get that penny because after taxes and surcharges.
Yeah.
I was about to say, you wouldn't even get to see the whole penny.
And of course, they get to profit off of your work.
Yeah.
They
My
make
concern would
billions, and
be-
you make a penny.
My concern would be licensing, especially for whenever I make pony related music. It's mostly include samples or clips or whatever of other material that I do not have the rights to. So I just completely throw out the idea of making any money on it.
It's funny you say that because, like, I was thinking about that the other day. I was listening to Super Pony Beat album 1, and I was like, there's really not that many like actual like sounds from the show. Like there's like the melodies, but like there's no clips from the show in here. And I wonder if like he did that because he was worried that he was going to get slapped for having stuff from the show in there. But like nowadays, I mean, gosh, dude. Like the Balloon Party back, actually it's not even nowadays. Balloon Party back in 2011 had like I don't know how many songs were on that album, but it had so many samples from the show in there, and I mean it made a bunch of money, right? And Ponies at Dawn, you get show clips in that all the time. It's like, I'm just gonna go on a very tiny side tangent. Copyright is like, it's the right for them to exclusively, they hold the exclusive right to say who can copy it, right? But like it's like it's like kind of like a negative enforced thing. Like it's kind of one of those things where technically by the law, no, you shouldn't copy it, but it is on like the responsibility of the person who owns the copyright to enforce their copyright. So if DHX, which is the one who owns all the, at least as far as I understand, I believe it's possibly DHX, it may be Hasbro, the ones that own the copyright for the show clips, if they're not pursuing it, then it's fine. Just note that they can choose to pursue that at any day and you lose all your income, but like, it's not like they can come and yoinkity sploink all the money you already spent. So.
I would also note as a YouTuber that YouTube will sometimes just do it for them. You'll get like random shit. There was one video that I got demonetized because in the background of somebody else's audio, like they were talking and then there was so quiet and then their neighbors across the street started blasting music and there was like a single note worth of music. And YouTube hit me for that.
You should have contested that, dude.
That's so funny.
You should have contested.
Oh my gosh.
That's
ridiculous.
The YouTube content ID system, it is worth noting that like we live in, like we as internet folk are very spoiled by the idea of freely sharing and reusing and all this stuff. That's not how the corporate and money-making world works at all. It's how the internet works. And the only reason why YouTube is even able to do this is because of their advanced content ID systems, which will identify the content, notify the copyright holder, and then the copyright holder can choose to do whatever with it. And most of the time, for the big buck dudes, they choose not to do anything because then they'll just take your ad revenue, right?
Yeah. So actually, it's funny. Pure Blue Heart posted one of her streams to YouTube. And I have YouTube Content ID enabled on my one song that's published, and she got docked for it. She got a warning from whoever's distributing my music that it was recognized by YouTube Content ID. I'm like, I'm not even that popular. Like, I only have one song out, and they're still catching my music on Pure Blue Heart's videos. I thought it was insane.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that with Twitch, they're a little more lenient. They just mute your video.
Yeah, for real.
Bruh.
You go back over the VOD and like half of it's silent. I'm like, oh, okay. Guess they should have been there.
Yeah, that's what I do with my live streams. I'll record them and I'll post like my own hard copy of the MP3 that of the set. That way, they can whoever wants to download it or listen to it can hear the whole thing without the muting and whatnot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's smart.
copyright stuff is definitely something though that is a hot topic for like not just musicians. But
I'm just gonna let you know that technically, all fan fiction is a violation of copyright.
Oh no.
good to know.
I
Oh,
hate
no.
that with passion. It disgusts me, but it's the truth. So,
You
anyway,
can't stop
sorry.
me.
I know. I know. What's the next question, Amos?
Actually, this leads pretty well into at least
What?
another question in chat.
What? What's the next question?
The last question for tonight will be: which pony, canon or OC, is your most favorite to make music about from Compute?
Imagine making music about ponies. My gosh.
That's so
I know,
fucking
right?
crazy. Oh my god, actually.
Gross. I actually, at the moment, I only exclusively write music about myself, just because it's all music that's just from my own personal experience. That's music that I find easiest to write about, and then also I don't want to get in trouble with like all the IP stuff and things like that. So I only exclusively write about either my own experiences or I involve my friends' OCs or whatever.
To be honest, I feel like the easiest, at least for me, to write about, because there's no specifically like singular one. It's just those that don't have like a super built backstory, like background ponies, because then I could just kind of do whatever the fuck I want, right? And kind of just imagine a background for them or a story for them or something I can write for them. It's always fun.
I love that.
Armini, I really want to hear your thing because you've written several songs about various little ponies.
Yeah, I try my best to just jump from pony to pony to pony just because I'm like, everyone's got a story and I want to get my grubby little hoofs on them and just dissect their whole thing and make it into a 10-minute plus song. No, but if there is one pony in particular, I guess there's actually two. One is just because, like, of course, I gotta say this. It's Princess Luna. That's the first one. Because
Yes.
I feel like
Best
personally,
princess.
I relate the most to Luna and her, especially in that the Halloween one episode. What's that called? I don't remember, but it was like she came down to Ponyville and she's very, very awkward and doesn't really know how to act in,
Modern
herself. Yeah. I really related to that because me socially, I'm just like, if you meet me as the artist, I'm very like in character, quote unquote, right? And I really related to that. But there's so much more to her character that I just love, like her backstory and how depressing it is and how I can kind of go into detail about like anxieties, for example. That's why my first song was about Princess Luna. Time to let go, But if I'm being totally fair with myself, it has to, like, more than Luna, it probably is Harmony Bop, me. Just because I've written so much lore, I've written so much backstory to him, I need to get it out. I cannot stop.
So much.
The lore.
Yeah. Actually, same. Yeah. A lot of my songs are about my lore too.
Yeah.
The lore.
That's
So, like-
funny. As a writer, I do a lot of the same.
We're all just writing about ourselves. A bunch of narcissists here in chat.
Yeah.
Dolly, who's your favorite pony to write about, or to make music for, if any, or if it's like your OC or anything?
I don't know. Like it just sort of happens. Like I wrote Scootaloo. It started out as a a troll post because y'all were just posting ew in the in one of the threads on the Creator Hub, and it's like, okay, well, I'm going to take that and mess with it a little bit, and then a day later, it became a song, a 12-minute tribute to Scootaloo's plight, flight,
Like, plate.
and yeah. So just like I'll just start, putting some sounds down, and then like, oh, this is a Pinkie Pie track. Okay, load up all my Pinkie Pie sounds and go from there, or whatever. To that, I wonder, do I even write pony music, or does the pony music just write itself?
Profound thoughts from Golly.
I
I would have posted. I would have submitted Scootaloo, but it's like 12 minutes, and you said keep it under 5.
Oh, you don't have the radio version? Come on.
The 7-inch cut.
Yup.
Sorry, keep interrupting.
It's okay. Go ahead.
It wouldn't work as a shorter song. That's the thing. Like it's, the song is all about getting into the groove and the texture, and just because if you listen to the song, it's what I do is I take Scootaloo saying ew, but I just stretch it out to where it just becomes its own textured droning sound in the background. And after a while, you just forget what you're listening to as the song progresses. And then, then I drop the clips about Scootaloo talking about how she's never going to fly or anything like that. And then, that brings all the emotion out, along with with just that droning wail in the background, that just sort of just drives the track.
I absolutely agree. And I am now currently publicly pressuring you to finish and publish that song.
Yeah.
Everybody bully Golly.
I can do it. As soon as I can finish my build in Minecraft.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, go ahead. I'll stop.
I'm ready to talk about the thing. I'm ready. God, I'm ready. Please, give me the chance. No, okay. Because I wasn't ready before. That's why. So like when the question was first asked, I was like, I've never written songs about ponies like other characters before, except for that one time I did a remix of Rules of Rarity, but like that was just to taunt my friend. But then I realized, I use Fluttershy's voice so much as like an instrument and as like vocal things everywhere that I have a feeling that counts enough. And so I'm going to say Fluttershy. I've used her voice like an instrument so many times in my music and written songs with her in it. Not exactly about her, but with her voice in it as like mild instrumentation or something like that. So that's it.
Okay.
At first I was going to say Dashed Rainbow, but no, yeah, I think you're right with Fluttershy.
Yeah, well, I mean, Dashed Rainbow was kind of a one-off thing.
Yeah, Fluttershy sounds right for yourself.
I submitted that. I don't know if Nameless is going to play that one, but the podcast exclusive.
Yeah.
Did you submit that?
I did. It's in the podcast text chat. It's the only one that, well, no, it's not the only one, but it's a really significant one that Golly and I collaborated on, and he's actually contributed quite a bit to it. So
I get so hyped every time I hear about it. I'm hyped right now.
Well, now that it's been brought to my attention, it's going on there.
Oh, shit. Oh, no.
With that, will we be introducing our songs, or are we just going to play them?
Well, I was going to say which song, who wrote it, and then if you guys wanted to say anything extra to it, which to particularly pick on Saf, we'll start with Dashed Rainbow.
Well, do we get through everybody on the questions?
That's all the questions that we're going to do for tonight.
Okay, so Dashed Rainbow is the song itself is finished, like it's done. The thing is that it comes with a music video that is very not done, and that I am burnt out on trying to work on. It is about Rainbow Factory and about like kind of an alternate reality of like the regular Pony World and the alternate reality of Rainbow Factory Pony World kind of mashing together. And it ultimately, like, it really started from a really dark place for me. I put a lot of dark emotions into it. And then I realized, I really don't want to glorify Rainbow Factory. I would rather, show it for what it is, which is pretty damn dark. And so it's like, it's supposed to be of Scootaloo's experiences in there, in the Rainbow Factory, and what Rainbow Dash would do if she knew, like the real Rainbow Dash, if she knew about that. And then the end part, which I would hope you play and don't skip, the end part, in the video, that would be a part where like it talks about like the realities of human trafficking, because as crazy as the Rainbow Factory story of kidnapping children who don't do good enough sound, it is not too far off from what actually happens in our own world. So yeah, that's what that's about. And Golly helped with many parts on it that I don't think I have enough time to point out, but just trust me that he did.
Okay, so there's going to be a bit of a false start so I can turn it up, because otherwise I have to start it to see the volume thing.
Okay. Where are we going to hear it?
You should be able to hear it in playing through Discord as well as on the streams.
Okay.
So I will mute, and then we will come back after the end of this one for the next one.
Look, kid, I don't know where you keep coming from, but you gotta... Wait a second. Your head fell off!
Okay. That was really good.
Good.
Rainbow Dash.
Thank you.
There's a whole story to how we got to the point of that finished song, where it all started. Aside from what Staff had already mentioned, but that's it's too long to mention here. Maybe we'll write a book.
Maybe.
I'd read it.
Write a fan fiction.
I'm just gonna be honest. That sounds like garbage coming through Discord. I listened to it on the stream.
It's really interesting what Discord decides to do with it.
It just completely destroyed that big drop part.
At the same time, I find I'm hearing elements differently, obviously, but analytically, I'm hearing stuff in there that I was aware of, but didn't hear it that way. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm hearing it, I'm hearing the mix, but Discord's trying to figure out is this voice? What is it saying?
Who's the next victim?
We're gonna bully Mooney next.
Oh
no.
no!
Mooney gave me Terminal Velocity is the name of it. Anything you want to say about it?
Yes. This has not been published yet. This is just a release candidate for the song. That's what the RC stands for. But yes, I wrote this song. It is one of the few love songs I've written. And that's about all I have to say about it. Hope you like it.
Okay, give me just a sec to get it set up.
May I ask something?
May I?
Yes.
May you? I don't know. Can you? Are you able to ask the thing?
I'm gonna turn you into glue, I swear. I was just gonna say, can you the stream's really delayed, and we have the file right here. We can just sync play it with you if you say 3, 2, 1, go or something.
I mean, wait. I'm trying to understand what you're asking.
Okay. So,
Trying to get us to all play the file at the same time.
Yes, so that we can hear it, but actually sounding good and not like Garbo, but also not have to miss out on the last 10 to 20 seconds of it because everyone starts talking because it ended, but it didn't end on the stream where it's in high quality. If that makes sense.
I mean, there's probably still going to be a delay because Discord, but I'm hitting the button now.
Ever since I met you last year back in May, I've been thinking about you almost every single day. Not wanting to mess up and make the same mistake that I've made 5 too many times in my past. It's been a long time since I've ever been on my own, but I light up every time when we chat on our phones. Call me crazy, I just think I gotta let you know. The last thing I wanna do is dive into this too fast. I'm reaching terminal velocity, falling for you just as you're falling for me. Wanna take things slow, but the light's so green. Wanna keep everything between you and me, but I'm in love. I'm in love. I'll be yours forever. Spend the time together in love. Whoa, hit the brakes, slow down. I just need to think. What if it's just one of those silly passing feelings? Though it's been a while since I've started feeling so pink. For you, I guess it's different in every way. But I don't wanna hurt you, cause it hurts me to sting. Any of my friends, I don't wanna ruin our thing. I like the way things are, and yet I'm here singing. And hey, are you free? just as you're falling for me. Wanna take things slow, but the light's so green. Wanna keep everything between you and me, but I'm in love. I'm in love. I'll be yours forever. We'll spend the time together in love. I really like the way your mane flows in the wind, headed toward the deep end that we're falling in. Your eyes locked on mine, our hooves intertwined. Pull the parachute, I wanna stop time. I'm reaching terminal velocity, falling for you just as you're falling for me. Wanna take things slow, but the light's so green. Wanna keep everything between you and me, but I'm in love. I'm in love. I'll be yours forever. We'll spend the time together in love. Yeah, I'm in love. I'm in love. I'll be yours forever. We'll get through everything together in love.
Horrible. Very.
I've
Oh my
gotta
God.
hit you up later on how you made some parts of that. That fucking flanger ass chorus. Oh my god, that was so cool. Oh my god.
Oh my
That
gosh,
was
thank you guys so much.
That was really
That
good.
was cool as shit,
I hope
dude.
you don't
Oh my
mind. Like,
God.
I'm gonna throw you this little DLL here. If you ever need to use a telephone effect, there you go. I know that's what you're trying to go for. I think.
Oh, bet.
But-
Thank you.
That was so fucking hard though. Oh my god.
Thank you. I
Chains
appreciate
very
it a
chain
lot.
smokers inspired, am I wrong? Or
Oh, you know what? Actually, Chainsmokers is the hugest inspiration of mine. Actually, I should have mentioned that.
I
in the
was gonna
beginning.
say like it sounds very chain smokers to me, but also has this cool like more electronic lenience.
Yeah, yeah. They've inspired me for a long time. I think they've influenced my style a lot more than I realize.
It was
I
really
was-
cute, but I have to ask the question: was that for another person?
Yes, it is. It is in fact for another person.
Do
And
they
she
know
knows.
yet? Okay.
They know. Yeah, they know.
I'm gonna guess that's the little OC that you're kissing in your profile, right?
Maybe.
Adorable.
Yeah, but I wrote that before I like confessed to her and everything.
Oh,
The whole thing was
It's
written
fucking
before I actually
good.
came out about it. But,
If I was a woman, I'd be swooned.
If I was
That-
a woman, I'd be swooned. Oh gosh.
Don't clip that. Do not clip that.
Somebody fucking clip it, quick.
you have to clip that now.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, good.
Thank you guys so much. That means a lot to me. I'm glad you guys like it.
Okay. So, I think the next one we're going to do is Harmony Bop's The Crystal King.
All right.
New harmony.
Well,
tunes.
That song is a song that I have released. It's out on my YouTube. It's the newest song, but it's a song that goes back in time to when King Sombra was the king of the Crystal Empire. Praise him. Praise him.
Praise be.
Okay.
Praise be.
We all ready?
Hmm?
Yep.
He's the one, he's the crystal king. Give yourself to the peace he'll bring. Holding powers await with flame. He is our brother crystal king.
Chains under tension, but never breaking. I am here to stay. Embrace
king. Give yourself to the peace he'll bring. Holding powers await with cling. He is our brother Crystal King.
The Crystal Empire is mine. Equestria will follow by design. Those fickle tyrants called Celestia and Luna don't compare to the power that I hold. They wouldn't dare.
Fear me, all of you should fear me. Shadows dance in power. Fear me and my power. He's the one, he's the Crystal King. Give yourself to the peace he'll bring. Holding powers await with cling. He is our brother Crystal King. He's the one, he's the Crystal King. Give yourself to the peace he'll bring. Holding powers await with cling. He is our brother Crystal King.
Vibe.
Fuck, that one's so hard. It
I'm
definitely
actually
gives
glad
me.
that, like, I waited to hear that now. It
But
feels very Glory Hammer like, but
Yeah, I was about to say Hoots Force.
yes.
God damn, that was good.
Thank
Yeah,
you,
that was
thank
really
you.
good. I love that.
Thank you.
I'm usually
I-
not a rock or metal type, but I really liked that.
I
I'm a
wish for
metalhead.
Save Harmony. I really appreciate how like you really try and capture the essence of the characters when you make the songs like that. Like you've done
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I feel like you've done that very faithfully for all of them. So
It comes kind of from a theater background because of course I have, where every time I try to write I try to like get into like the mindset of the character, like, oh, how would a song with them or that they wrote be, you know,
mhm,
just with my own like genre in mind, right?
mhm.
I may have to hit you up for musical commissions at some point.
Mhm.
Okay.
Oh, heck
thank
yeah.
you. That would be awesome.
Neelix loves that genre.
I do. If you listen to the song at the end of the podcast, it is by Black and Blue, and it is for when one of my D&D parties had to fight my OC as a nightmare form in a boss fight. So I got heavy metal for that. So it was really cool. And
Ooh.
I will probably have other bosses I need, but I kind of want to just see what you do if I just give you like my OC. But
Okay.
that'll be for at a different time. For now, we're gonna go pick on Atlas. It is your
Oh
turn.
my god. Here's the thing with this
Ooh.
track. I made it in the idea of like if I was an electronic producer for this fandom in 2011, right?
All right.
Wait. Which one
Uh,
are you playing?
It's the G5 remix.
Yeah, new generation. my little,
Why?
Yep.
yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's the only one that was submitted from. For him?
Yep.
So
I'm just fun fact. This is like on my regular listen playlist. Just saying.
I still like the chops in it. I think it has charm. There's definitely some cringeworthy pieces of it.
I love
but
the
I
nude
find it
cast.
nostalgic weirdly. Oh yeah, that part's cool. So
anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button.
cartoons. But we're about to introduce you to a group of grown men and women who are obsessed with one particular cartoon, My Little Pony. I'm not talking about the toys or shows from the 80s and 90s. This is a phenomenon that blew up only in the last 3 years, and thanks to the internet, the fans are literally worldwide. WRAD's Natasha Cheng goes one-on-one with the Mid-South's most dedicated.
Discord ripped the fucking life out of that song. Discord ruined that shit.
Don't worry, the stream.
Everything was gone. It was just like, it sounded like it was bandpass and it had like some weird watery effect on it.
I just want to point out this is
that was like 25% of the whole fucking mix. It was just that.
That inspires me to complete my remix of that song.
Yeah, it's so goofy, but I mean, I kind of feel nostalgic towards it now.
Honestly,
It's
feels like
goofy.
a submission for the like for Pony
Minute Massacre.
Pony Minute Massacre. Yeah, but
Oh yeah.
I don't. Yeah, but like I personally like the song a lot. Like it wouldn't be on my main playlist if I didn't like it. So I really appreciate it. And if you ever delete your shit again, I'm gonna beat your ass.
I know, or that you'll archive everything, and then when you find me, you'll spam me with all my old stuff to make it.
Yes, I will.
also, Saf,
next
you're
victim.
the next victim.
Ah, fuck.
Yeah.
Is this a little bit of darkness?
Yes.
Okay, well, I already explained it a little bit, but I guess I'll explain it a little more just for... Fuck, never mind. Okay.
I told you, false start. I had to turn up the volume.
Okay, so, this one's gonna sound like hot garbage to Discord. Yeah, this one's just a really emotional one. This is like what the overwhelming PTSD, like, shit that happens to me like at minimum 4 times a day feels like. And so yeah, that's that. There you go. Have fun.
Okay. Just a second. And I lost the tabos. There we go. And I'm hitting the button now.
That lead synth is cool as shit. I'm not gonna lie.
Very nice.
I appreciate.
And I can feel that emotion in there.
Yeah.
The funny part is it actually just now ended. There is a lot of silence.
Is that
at the
how
end of
long
that.
the tail is at the end?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you not cut the tail end like of your reverb and shit, so that way you don't when you export you don't have that long.
No, look, I wanted to get it out.
I feel yeah. I
Fair.
do that for my songs where I think they're actually worth something.
No, yeah, I left it there. It's okay.
Well, also sometimes you want to have that extra kind of room for the song to kind of fade out because it kind of you're kind of stuck there at the end, kind of like what's it called, like thinking about the song, reflecting on what you just
Yeah.
heard as
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
fading away, right?
Yes.
From
So
a
sometimes you do
YouTuber
actually want it.
from a
And it gives
YouTuber
you-
standpoint as well, it gives you some time to like put an end card.
Oh yeah.
True.
Yes, that's literally what I did. Just saying.
I was about to say that's what it sounded like to me.
No, that's not why I left it there. I mean, okay, look, I'm just gonna be honest. It's more work to me. Well, I mean, this is already a trauma song. It's more work when this is already a lot of work to make because it's like really emotionally draining to make.
I can't get onto you.
Like
Yeah.
adding the fucking whatever fader that I end up turning all the way down, just to make the reverb tail go out. Like, no, I would rather just leave it.
No, Sap, I can't get onto you. You want to know why? Because for that G5 remix, that intro riser was post everything because I was too fucking lazy. I don't even know if you remember that. I placed it in post. I was just like, fuck it. Re-export. I'll just throw a riser in there.
Sometimes I'll do the exact opposite. I'll have a song that goes and goes, and it's you're in the groove, and you can tell it's about to end, and it's snip. It's not even on beat. It's like beat 2.5. It's like cut. Yep, that's the end.
Speaking of you, Golly, I believe you're next.
Oh no! Had to follow up all these great songs with this.
Yep.
Give up, you're bad.
I think he's next. Is he next, Nameless?
Yes, because I'm gonna do Drummer Shy as last, mainly because it's
Okay.
the one I'm most worried about getting dinged over.
Well, so the context on this one, it goes back to my advice earlier about for people just starting out, where you don't set out to make something great. Don't think you're going to produce your big epic piece right off. Just
Magnum
make
opuses
something.
don't come first.
Was that?
Magnum opuses don't come first.
Magnum opuses don't come first. Yeah, so set off. If you know you're not going to make something good, set off to make something bad, and then make it better, work on it, or improve from there. So for this one, I had just gotten the Ableton Push 3 standalone, and I have no idea how to use this box in standalone mode, where it doesn't involve the computer at all. You can write all your parts and sketches and stuff on the unit by itself, and then that's the idea. Or part of the idea of it, it lets you work more creatively that way instead of having to worry about mouse and keyboard. You just turn it on and you start putting notes down and start making stuff. And so that's what I was doing. I was as I was learning this box. This song is made completely in this box, and I just to make the MP3, I just hit record and then performed it after I'd made all the parts. So I haven't gone through and arranged it perfectly or polished it off with the mixing and the mastering and all the little tweaks of compression and everything else to really polish it off. I just wanted to make something with it and see where I go from there and find out what my workflow with this machine, with this new device is, and how I can use it in making more stuff. And also, just learn how to perform live with it. I want to be able to do all the really cool, live stuff with prearranged music ahead of time or whatever, and incorporate that into my performances. So this is what I ended up coming out with. And like I said, it's completely unpolished. And I bet out of all the songs here, this is probably the one Discord will mess up the least because it's so unrefined. And when I played a song, I imagine a little filly or whatever, just walking through the streets of town, maybe heading to Sugar Cube Corner or something. And along the way, just more ponies start lining up and following behind. Like after a while, we got this little parade of ponies marching down to get their treats for the day. And I think that's enough context.
Okay. And I'm going to hit the button now. That was
cute.
very
My
I
setting.
love that.
Yeah, thank
I'm
you.
standing up because I've been dancing.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you. No, yeah, it's a goofy little track that it's not really what I'm into making right now, but it's what I end up making when I'm just goofing around and just not trying to take it too
Stop.
seriously.
It was very nice, and I definitely want to see the animation for it.
Mm-hmm.
I should commission that, and it wouldn't be anything real complex either. Just the simple, the real like what real low frame rate crayon drawing kind of deal. That's the way I've envisioned it.
Yes.
And I'm on the fence of like, well, does it need any more production? Yeah, it needs a polishing and all that. Definitely, that would help it out a lot. But I'm like, well, it's just piano and drums. And I keep thinking like, well, I didn't intend it to be just all piano. I was going to make them all different instruments, but it works like this. Like I cannot. I'm racking my brain trying to think of any way to really improve it other than just refine it. So I think I got to. It's not a banger, but it's
Stop doubting yourself. It's good enough.
oh well, thank you.
Anywho, we're gonna go ahead and move on to the last one. This one's from Drummer Shay. It's a remix of "Piece of Trash" by Ramshackle, I think is. The title was so long it didn't quite fit, so. But I'm gonna go ahead and.
Why does this shit always happen to us?
It'll be okay, guys. There's a reason they call us scraps. Skip, take Maggot and get him somewhere safe. Okay. All right. You want the manager? Well, guess what? I am the manager!
Consequence is clear. Can you feel it in the air? It's time to get what you deserve. I think that we both know the way this story goes. It's time for you to see just what we're worth. They make a living showing off the pretty things they have. They say they'll save us, but they're holding back. Wow! We're out here screaming, well at least they marked us on the map. I guess it isn't all that bad. To be a piece of trash. When it all comes tumbling down, I'll pick you off the ground and tell you it's okay. Life can seem unfair, but we're not meant to care. We're used to sleeping in the rain. They make a living showing off the petty things they have. They say they'll save us, but they're holding back. Wow! The tunes repeating about them who's tired of the act. I guess it isn't all that bad. When you're a piece of trash.
That's fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was good drum covers. Very good.
Amazing. Ooh.
I wish he was still here to talk about it, but he had to go, and that's okay.
Yeah,
He's sleepy. He's sleepy.
we did run
Indeed.
pretty long. But anyways, I think that's all we're gonna do for tonight. Thank you for those of you that were on as guests, and thank you to the viewers that tuned in. If you liked that and would like to see more of it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring the notification bell, follow on Twitch, all that good stuff. we are almost to 100 followers on Twitch, so I would greatly appreciate if you guys help me out there and threw a follow my way. Other than that, I will probably actually be going live here in an hour or so just to play some games with some friends on Twitch. Other than that, I will definitely be doing... Tomorrow is Lost Memories, Second Chances, and then Sunday is Heart of Darkness. So stay tuned for those. And I will be also doing next Friday, I believe, is talking more about Generation 5 of My Little Pony.
Controversy.
Thanks for having me on. It was a lot of fun.
Whatever will we do?
Being here.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you for having us again, Nameless.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Huge
We'd love to
honor.
do it again.
Okay. Other than that, everybody have a great evening, and don't forget to drink water.
Yes.
All right.